Alright, so after watching Maniac, I need a palate cleanser. That legitimately scared me. So I'm going to talk about a comedy. Let's just talk about something else. A comedy that I watched while I was moving into my new house. Called Get Him to the Greek, which is a sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But the only characters returning as the main character is Russell Brand's character. And Jonah Hill returns, but he's a different character from the last movie, which I thought was funny. That was funny to bring him in and have him a different character, which was fine. He was just funny, but Get Him to the Greek, I'd say out of the two, I definitely liked Forgetting Sarah Marshall a lot more. I thought that was more smarter and more funny, but this one is a really solid sequel though, and it's a kind of in name sequel where it's got one character from the last movie, but it doesn't focus on the other characters because Russell Brand was not the main character in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Jason Segel was. So I liked that it was not the same movie. I thought that was cool that they used that character and kind of spun him off to this one. And Russell Brand's character is again the musician from the last one, and Jonah Hill's character in this movie becomes he's part of this company where he's got to go escort Russell Brand around, but Russell Brand is kind of hard to deal with in a way, because seeing the first movie and seeing how he kind of acts in this, he's kind of a douchebag in a way, but he's also likable, and I thought Russell Brand did a good job of making this character likable, in a way, he actually did give off this likable presence to him, he was really fun in the movie. And I thought that it was, overall, it was moderately entertaining. Comedy's not always the thing that I go to watch, but this was a fun, I thought it was too long, but this was a fun time. It was not very, it wasn't, the best comedy in the world, but it wasn't terrible or bad. It was just in the middle. It was a fun spin-off with this character. I like that there were, a million cameos in this movie, these types of movies are. I don't know if this was the same people who wrote Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin. I don't know if it's the same people, but it felt like that type of movie where it was very similar to those. And I think that whoever these people are, wrote those three movies. I'm blanking on the name of these people, but yeah, overall, it was fun. I liked all these characters. I thought they were fun and likable. I liked Rose Byrne a lot. I thought that was funny that she's in this because I didn't expect her to be. And I missed this whenever it came out in 2010, so that's whenever she wasn't really big, and she is bigger now. And I was surprised that I saw her in this, and I thought she was really funny because she was the ex in the movie for Russell Crowe, and she had a really funny thing about her. She's actually really an underrated funny person. I always forget how funny Rose Byrne is. She's really funny in the Neighbors movies as well, and I think that people don't ever take that into account, that she's really funny. And the movie too, I liked how it's a comedy, but it had a lot of sincerity to it. Like I said, Russell Brand is a likable character, even though he's a douche musician. He's got issues with him, and in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, he was more of a douche in that one, but you do feel for him. He's got moments which actually surprise me in a comedy like this, where he was talking to his kid who he doesn't ever see much, and moments like that made this character feel more human, and it just really surprised me. I was like, oh cool, that's cool that we get some sincerity in a dumb comedy, and I like that a lot. And scenes with him and Rose Byrne, they broke up, and there's kind of this thing, between them, they kind of got a unresolved kind of feeling towards each other, and I like that, and I liked how this felt like it was a little more smarter than typical comedy, and that's what these people who made this movie and the other movies do. They're good at this, making these characters likable and sincere, and not just a comedy. And that's not always a bad thing if it's just a comedy, but I like when a comedy has more more heart and more sincerity to it than just jokes. Jokes, and there's nothing else to it. I liked how this didn't try to be just jokes. It had some sincerity and likable characters to it, so... See, that's pretty much all I can say about Get Him to the Greek. I I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was a fun, but it was too long though for me because comedies usually always, if they're over 2 hours or almost 2 hours, I always feel it. It's not the type of genre where I can watch a 2 or 3 hour comedy and be like, oh, this is awesome all the way through. I think I get tired of the jokes towards the end of the half hour and a half mark. Like I just don't. Usually comedies don't affect me that way if they're that long. So I thought it should have been a tiny bit shorter. It wasn't even like 2 hours. I don't think. I think it was like maybe hour and 50, hour and 45. But still, it could have been cut a little bit for me. But overall, it was totally fine. It was totally worth watching. It was just something that gave me ample like something to do while I was unpacking stuff. So I thought it was perfectly serviceable and a perfectly fun time.